Hi, my name is Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. I have been healing MEN1 for the past 5 or 6 years, and today I wanted to share with you what I do when I know I'm doing all the right things but my results just aren't changing. I really know what it's like to be ticking every single box: supplements, diet, sleep, exercise, meditation, and still have symptoms or blood tests that say otherwise. It is so frustrating because it's really difficult to put my finger on what is the thing that isn't working. Today I want to talk about what I've learned from those particular moments when it feels like I'm doing everything right and still nothing is quite shifting. If you've ever felt that way in your own MEN1 journey, stay with me. This one's from personal experience and I want to leave you something super tangible that might just be the next step for you in your journey. The first point to make is that external tools are not enough without inner work. So at one point I was trying all the tools that I could: supplements, functional medicine, saunas, fasting, and I wasn't seeing big shifts. What changed everything was pairing everything external, so everything that comes from outside the body, with deep inner work. So clearing out the beliefs, the emotional baggage, the nervous system patterns that were holding me in fear or contraction. That is what is so central to disease, but we don't realize it. I sometimes call it inner child work or mind-body work, because if I'm still wired to expect disappointment, or if I'm acting from pressure, fear, or all that feeling of being inadequate and not enough, then no external protocol can land its way, can land in the way it's meant to. I have to work first with what is more intrinsic to me inside my cells, and that is my nervous system. What affects the nervous system is thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Everything external, diets, foods, supplements, therapies, therapists, information, that all comes from outside. So the body's most important environment is the emotional one, and no magnesium supplement or boron alternative can override that. I had to learn that. The second point I want to make is it's so important to let go of the outcome. What do I mean by this? I was once quoted a line from the Bhagavad Gita, which is to say that my concern is with the action, not with the fruits of the action. When I obsess over my results, my bloods, scans, symptoms, I hand all my power over to something outside of me. What's in my power is what I do, is the action. The result of the action ultimately is not my concern. I have no control over that. And when I actually focus on the process instead of that outcome, I stay more grounded, I stay more calm, I stay more in control. It's when I focus on what I don't have control of, that's when I feel out of control, that's when I feel ungrounded, that's when I feel in a state of disease. So even when things are stormy outside of me, I absolutely have to hold my focus. And that's when the body has a chance to catch up. Healing is not linear, but the body is always listening. The third point I want to make is that it's all very well taking these supplements and doing your exercise and drinking lots of water to keep calcium low, but if those actions are coming from a place of fear rather than a place of love, they are doing the opposite. They're not healing. So what do I mean? I had to ask myself, even when I'm doing these healthy things, what is the state that they're coming from? Am I fearing an outcome where I think I might be about to head into surgery? Am I doing it because I have to, or because I actually believe in my healing? When I fear that surgery or that disease progression, my actions start to get desperate. And that is then mimicked by physiology in the body, and the body puts itself into a stress state. The moment I decided that I wasn't going to go back into surgery, whatever happened, that literally wasn't even on the table. Everything changed. And the quality of that conviction is something that my body can feel, and it senses that it's a signal to say, I know what I want and I know I can get there. And this is the direction we're going to go. I've always learned that what I focus on is what I create. So if I focus on something I don't want to happen, all my thought, all my attention goes into that thing I don't want to happen. That's exactly where I'm going to go. Whether that's surgery, whether that's an argument with a friend, whether that's missing a deadline. When I stop preparing for the worst case scenarios, which is what the mind is existing to do, and start creating my best case scenario and focus on that, I no longer have to make these actions from a place of fear. And that surgery is not something that I look at on the table and think, all of this is innate of avoiding surgery. It's not about that. It is about coming from a place of knowing that I am meant for healing, that that is the only option for me and that that is the route I'm on. And that is something that is absolutely integral to the healing journey that I've had. There's no way I'd have the results I have now if that weren't my core belief and my conviction. There were many times I doubted, but every time I doubted was when things started to fall apart, was when I got the results back that showed lack of progress or things going the wrong way. It is so important to have that conviction that no matter how the test results come back, no matter what the blood reading is, no matter what comes up on the scan, I know and I believe in my conviction. It's so important. That's why I'm here where I am now. That's why I'm not looking at surgery on the table. I'm not having to manage symptoms. I get up and my default is to feel well. And the way I've got here is by believing that is where I'm going to go. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I really know what it's like to be doing all those right things and to see nothing changing. I've absolutely been there and I see you if that's you. And I really hope this video has brought you a slightly different way of looking at things that can maybe help you shift your approach and your perspective on your healing journey. Let go of control and act from a place of love and conviction rather than fear. If you want to know more about how those two things particularly have helped me in my healing journey, get to where I am now and avoid all that surgery, drop it into the description box below, click the link, pop your email address in. I'll be able to send you a free guide where I give you 3 super tangible things I'm doing every single day to make sure that I'm getting to that place, come from a place of love and abundance and conviction and certainty, not fear, which I think is the problem that underlies for so many of us. I am so grateful that you've been here. Don't forget to tune in next week and also share this video with someone who you think it could help, whether or not they're an MEN1 patient. I will say ciao for now and see you next time.